As many of you probably know, the inflation in Turkey has been one of the highest in the world for the last couple of years. And prices in the shops, restaurants, hotels, and especially rentals have gone through the roof, hitting low wage earners very hard, many of them now living on the breadline. And a lot of them are being pushed out of their homes by greedy landlords wanting to raise the rentals by as much as 5 times the original prices a couple of years ago. So in this video, let's have a look at the prices in the supermarket to our own comparison that we did a year ago. We'll also have a look at the prices in the UK, just for a comparison. By the way, the exchange rates of euro, pound and dollar have only gone up a few percent compared to the inflation rate. So foreign currencies have a lot less buying power than they did a year ago. So I've actually come back to the same shop as I did last year, BIM, which is probably regarded as the cheapest shop here. And I'm going to look at the prices today, February 2025. Last year, the inflation rate was around 67% at this time of the year. And the official rate now is about 42%. So we'll have a look at the prices and see what you think to see whether that's a realistic figure. So the top prices in yellow will be prices from last year. So 30 eggs, last year was 109 lira, now it's 159 lira. That's an increase of 46%. It'll cost you £3.49 now in sterling in Turkey, and in Tesco's it's £4.39 for the same eggs. Organic eggs, 6 organic eggs last year were 39.50 in Turkish lira, now it's 49.5 lira. That's an increase of 25.3%. It'll cost you £1.08 now in sterling, and in Tesco's in the UK it's £2.80. 2 kilos of flour, 34.50 last year in BIM, now it's 39.5. That's an increase of 14.5%. About 86p cheaper than last year. In Tesco's it will cost you £1.06. 2.5 litres of yoghurt, low fat yoghurt, 67.50 last year, 89.50 this year. That's a 32% increase. It'll cost you £1.96 now in Turkey. It'll cost you £6.25 in Tesco's in the UK. 1 litre of UHT milk, 26 lira last year. Now 33.75 lira. That's a 30% increase. Cost you 74p now in sterling in Turkey, and in Tesco's it's 89p, similar price. 1 kilo of tomatoes last year was 32.75. This year it will cost you 34.5 lira, which is only a 5.3% increase, and it'll cost you 75p. In Tesco's the same tomatoes will cost you £2.31. Loose onions, 1 kilo of onions in Turkey last year was 11.45. This year it's 18.75. That's a 64% increase. It'll cost you 41p now in sterling in Turkey, 95p a kilo in Tesco's. A kilo of cheese, last year 215 lira, this year 279 lira. 30% increase. It'll cost you £6.11p in Turkey. In Tesco's the same will cost you £9.82. 40 dishwasher tablets last year were 209 lira in Turkey. This year they're 320 lira. That's a 53% increase. It'll cost you £7 and a penny now, but in Tesco's £10 for the same amount. 3 litres of softener last year was 90 lira and 25. Now it's 125 lira. That's a 38% increase. Cost you £2.74 in today's money. Tesco's is £4.83 for the same. Frozen chips, 2.5 kilo bag, was £150 last year. They're now £125. Actually, 16% cheaper than last year. It cost you £110 for a kilo. In Tesco's, it's £2.79 a kilo. Potatoes loose, 13.5 lira last year. They're 13 lira this year. That's actually 3.7% cheaper. Only 29p for a kilo. In Tesco's, it'll cost you 79p a kilo, nearly 3 times the price. Apples, 1 kilo, 26 lira last year. Now they're 42 lira. That's a 57% increase. It'll cost you 92p a kilo now. In Tesco's, it'll cost you £2.60 a kilo. Oranges. 1 kilo of oranges last year was £12.75. This year, it's 25 lira. That's a 96% increase. It'll cost you 55p a kilo now in Turkey, but it'll cost you £2.10 a kilo in the UK. A kilo of bananas, £36.75 last year in Turkey. This year, 55 lira. That's a 49% increase, and it will cost you £1.21 in sterling. In Tesco's, they're only 90p a kilo. Toilet paper, 16 rolls of toilet paper last year, 90 lira. Now it's 99.75 lira. That's only a 10% increase. It'll cost you £2.19p. In Tesco's, it'll cost you £11 for the same amount. Fairy washing up liquid. Last year, £46.25. Now it's £84.75 a bottle. That's an 83% increase. Cost you £1.86 now. In the UK, it'll cost you £2, a similar price really. Olive oil, 2 litres of olive oil. Last year was 385 lira. This year, it's 395 lira. Only a 2.6% increase. And it'll cost you £8.67 for 2 litres. In Tesco's, the same amount will cost you £18. A Waps cake bar, 8.5 lira last year. Now 17 lira. That's a 100% increase, and that will cost you 37p. We don't have any cake bars really in the UK. Star Mix, my favourite, 22.5 lira last year, 37 lira this year. That's a 64% increase, and it'll cost you 81p in Turkey. Tesco's with the gram adjustment is 93p. Chicken breasts, 1 kilo of chicken breasts was 169 lira last year. It's 195 lira this year. That's a 15.3% increase. £4.28 in Turkey, and in Tesco's £6.84 for the same amount. Keema or minced beef. The 400 gram packet last year was 135 lira. Now it's 199 lira. That's a 47% increase, and it works out at £10.92 a kilo in Turkey. In Tesco's, only £7.33 a kilo. So what about alcoholic drinks? Well, they don't do alcoholic drinks in BIM, so we've come to Migros to have a look at their alcoholic drink prices. A litre bottle of Bell's whiskey last year was 821 lira in Turkey. Now it's 1,350 lira. That's a 64.4% increase. It'll cost you £29.70. In Tesco's it's only £24.75. A can of beer, FS, my favourite, 60 lira last year, 77.95 this year, 30% increase. Each can will cost you £1.71 now in Turkey, and in Tesco's they're only £1.15 for a can. Good wines last year in Turkey were around 200 lira a bottle. Now they're mostly 350 lira a bottle and above. That's a 75% increase. Cost you roughly £7.70 a bottle. Average price for wine in Tesco's is about £7, but better quality wines. And of course, something they have got here which we couldn't find in Turkey is 0% wines. They've also got lots of zero beers and even zero Guinness, zero Heineken, which is my favourite, zero Beck's.
My 0% wine is £3.25 a bottle.
That's half the price of a normal bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And they've even got some spirits as well. Gordon's Gin, alcohol free, £10 with a club card. So as you can see, the official inflation rate figure for last year for the supermarket prices at least doesn't seem far out. And for most products, they are still a little bit cheaper than the UK. But of course, for low wage earners here in Turkey that only earn about £500 a month, these prices are ridiculously high. They are hoping, of course, to bring the inflation rate down even more. They're expecting it to be below 30% by the end of the year. But if the foreign exchange rate like dollar, sterling and euro don't increase considerably soon, prices for tourists here in the summertime will still feel very high compared to other years. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get any more updates from us. Thanks for watching.